Armageddon, Rise of the Caliphate.
A Time Factor radio special.
You know, we were just
It's
talking
just coming to break. Nobody has.
I've been saying it for
I've
a
seen
couple
for a
of
couple
weeks
of weeks
that we are now in
World War III.
Just the beginning.
Just the
We
beginning.
don't know
We
it
don't know
yet, but
yet.
we're at the
We're the
beginning.
beginning.
And I
And
haven't seen anybody
mock
that
that
yet.
yet.
Yeah, I don't either. Where is it? It's got to be coming.
Oh boy.
You know, maybe they're a little leery since they mocked the caliphate, and then they were proven so unbelievably butt stupid wrong.
Yeah.
That, you know, they're just kind of cowering in their corners.
It was like it never happened.
I was looking at it again.
Man, they should apologize. Every one of them.
No, Jeff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about me. No. You don't understand, Jeff. It doesn't matter to me. What matters is their credibility.
For them to come out
and
say
to their audience,
saying about Glenn Beck,
LH
to their audience
say, wow.
if you remember,
I was way wrong.
I was
I was way wrong. Yeah.
The idea of
Yeah.
caliphate, and here it is.
And now I'm talking about it every night as if it's fact because it is.
Yeah, Roger. That's right.
To go back to your point from last break, I mean, we've done that with the Patriot Act. At the time, the Patriot Act
Yes.
I didn't go for.
I didn't go for.
Ronald was right, and if you're wrong with something, it's better to come out and say, look, I said this before. Here's why I thought it at the time.
Yeah.
Here's what changed, and now here's what I believe. That is a understandable thing for a human being to go through. It's something that
Especially this.
The
Caliphate. If you didn't do your darn homework,
the
Caliphate was nuts.
It's nuts.
It's nuts.
It didn't even sound like a word that they had ever heard of.
If I remember right, I spelled it out.
Spell it out on the air.
That's right. I think I heard one guy actually say Califate at one point.
Oh, God. Please.
Like Pat Robertson kept saying, it was caliphate, caliphate, they had no idea.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
And the key is they don't listen to the enemy. If you listen to the enemy, you know.
And what's the definition they always use for insane? You know, doing the same thing over and over again and without
expecting the same results.
Expecting the same result. It's like, here you are. You've been talking about this stuff, and again, you're not predicting crazy things in a crystal ball. You're reading their words and believing them.
Right.
To look at this again and expect maybe a different result than last time.
Here are the things that we say were worse. Because I've listened to the words of what the enemy is saying.
I listen to
the words of Russia,
and
they are all intent on World War III. They are waiting and priming for World War III. They want to push back and reestablish the former Soviet unions. That will set all of Europe on fire.
I also
look to history.
What happens
next? And you saw this week, let's put something out on Facebook. The exact same dominoes are falling down. Exact same kind of time period as they were in the 1930s, just before World War II.
So that's
why I say
that we're
on the verge of World War.
But
also because of the Caliphate
and what
they are saying, what they were doing in Europe. That was turning people against Muslim immigrants, which would cause a real rift and a civil war, which Russia would then played into for their own purposes.
But what's
coming next is worse.
Because of what we'll share with you,
and we've shared before,
but it's a
crazy theory.
The
end of the world. Armageddon. Not my belief, but the belief of those in the Middle East.
Recently, Alan West came here to our studios in Texas. For the interview, we focused on the rise of radical Islam. We want to play a little bit of the conversation that came right after the world was horrified by the images of the Jordanian pilot being burned alive in a cage. The president had just given a speech on religion, and in that speech, he mentioned in passing the madness that we're seeing in the Middle East, and equated that madness that's being carried out in the name of Islam with Christianity and the Crusades. There was a guy who was in our studio that was really super clear. Alan West. What he said. Take a look and listen.
He got it wrong when he looked at the Crusades, because first of all, understand why Pope Urban II called for the Crusades in 1095. It's because Muslims were attacking Christians in the Holy Land. You know, as they were going on the pilgrimage back to Jerusalem. And when you look at the fact that in 732 A.D., what was Charles Martel doing fighting a Muslim army in France? They weren't there for, a really good wine. What was the Venetian fleet doing later on in 1571 at the Battle of Lepanto? This Muslim fleet was not out on a cruise through the Mediterranean. What were the Germanic and the Polish Knights doing turning back the Ottoman Muslim army at the gates of Vienna in 1683? They weren't trying to go and get better chocolate. So this is an ongoing thing for 1,400 years. And for the President of the United States of America to stand and try to make some type of moral equivalency statement or religious relativist statement, it was absolutely appalling. Now, interestingly enough, Glenn, and I'm sure you track that, the day before he gave that speech at the National Prayer Breakfast, he met with 14 Muslim leaders, and we come to find out that 4 or 5 of them had direct ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. And the week before that, we had Muslim Brotherhood representatives in the State Department, which absolutely incensed the El-Sisi government in Egypt. So how is it, we saw the president come out yesterday. How can we trust someone that has done these type of things just in the past 2 weeks to really go after, to defeat, degrade, destroy, I don't know what other D word he's going to, depress, deject, ISIS. As we were talking early off air, maybe he'll give them some of his DVD speeches, which would probably depress them, immensely.
So the boys asked me earlier today, because I believe without moral clarity, we are on course for, between Russia and what is happening in the Middle East, a global war.
You're there.
Yes.
You are there.
We are at the beginning.
Yes, we're not recognizing it. And I hate to say this, but if there's a message that I can send to my former colleagues, I would not support the president's resolution because it does not have any clarity.
Correct.
What you heard him present yesterday was really just a repeat of what he said back in August.
Yes.
We're going to degrade, we're going to defeat, we're going to destroy. A year ago, ISIS was about 3,000 fighters when they came over. It's the reconstitution of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. Now there are 50,000. And so funny that you had his counterterrorism expert testifying before I think a House committee, talking about the 18,000 fighters that have come into ISIS, but yet the president's talking about their morale is down. There is a complete disconnect. And like you said, once again, there is no specific strategy or clarity. How do we defeat them diplomatically? How do we isolate them? How do we isolate them economically? How do we then use, the leverage of information systems to defeat them ideologically? We can't do that because we have a president that won't even say Islamic terrorism. So how are you going to defeat them? When you don't recognize the ideology driving.
I answered the boys this morning when we were talking about this. I said, I think we're on the verge of World War III.
Yes.
And it is not worth, because they said, can we defeat them without ground troops? And I said, I wouldn't send any ground troops, and I wouldn't send anybody in until we have moral clarity. Because all we're doing is just throwing bodies into something that it's just a meat grinder. If you ever somehow obtain moral clarity, we won't, as long as this guy's president. But can you defeat them without ground troops?
No, you can't. The only time in the history of the United States military we defeated someone with air power, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Otherwise, you have to have people to close with and destroy an enemy. If that's the task that you want to have achieved, is to destroy them.
Well, there's no doubt that what we're seeing here playing out is a spillover from Syria.
We're talking here again about a potential caliphate in Iraq.
The Islamic State.
Ultimately, it would include Iraq and Baghdad and very possibly Iran.
Who are they?
ISIS is Islamic for the simple fact that they call themselves Islamic.
And what's next? This is Armageddon, Rise of the Caliphate.
A time edition of the Time Factor Radio Show.
The Blaze Radio Network.